Hey, so this is a little bit of a response to discussion 2A, where you focused on the Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert rally to restore sanity and or fear. And I had a few comments that I wanted to make. I think you all did a good job of identifying what the main point of especially that final speech. And I think many of you pointed to the Glenn Beck rally, which was a previous occasion, as a sort of instigating factor. That is, I'm not sure that there would have been a rally to restore sanity and or fear had there not been first a rally to restore honor. I think one of you pointed out that in lots of ways the speech that Glenn Beck gave and the speech that Jon Stewart gave had um, some similarities, and I think that's a really good point. Although I have not myself looked at the Glenn Beck speech in video form, I've been aware of reporting about it. But they're basically using a speech to a whole bunch of people to articulate ideals. One of the things I would say is that, Glenn Beck locates the ideals in a sort of what he sees as a decline in values in America. Um, so, therefore, the need to restore honor. But Stewart is saying not that there's a decline in values, rather that there's a problem in the way the media leads us to talk about and think about ourselves as being constantly in conflict, as being a divided country, etc. So I would say that while the speeches appear to be similar, and I think they are similar in the type of occasion and the type of rhetorical gesture they make, that there's a pretty significant difference in the type of appeal that each makes. So that's one thing I wanted to say, and you can agree or disagree with me. That's just my take on things. I wanted to say one other thing, which is the sort of thing that I asked you to do to try and understand what the occasion was that brought this thing about. And this comes to a point that we'll talk about at great length later in this semester, but it's good to start thinking about it now, which is that until you understand the occasion in which your writing or anyone's writing takes place, or the circumstances in which it takes place, the occasion that prompts it, the circumstances in which it takes place, you won't understand how successful or unsuccessful the rhetorical gesture is. So, for instance, if you understand, for instance, the point that we've just been talking about, which is that the Stewart Colbert rally is related to the Beck rally, and that in some ways it takes the Beck rally as the model and sort of turns it on its head a little bit. Then the occasion seems kind of weird. It's like, why are all these people getting together just to say, let's make sense or whatever? And then also understanding something about the thing that Stewart refers to over and over again, which is this idea that we're being represented constantly as a divided country that barely can function, and that people are divided from each other by politics. If you don't understand that background, then it's hard to understand the significance of anything that he says. So I guess what I'm saying is in order to be a successful rhetor, and I'm not trying to be a pretentious person. A rhetor is simply, someone who speaks or writes and seeks to have an influence on people. And why do you write if not to do that, right? Um, to be a successful rhetor, you need to understand the circumstances in which you are writing and the circumstances in which other people who are writing, sorry about that, similar things uh, are doing so as well. In other words, what are the arguments circulating around you and so on. So I thought this was a good discussion, and I thought a lot of good points came out of it, and I hope that you too got something out of it. And